There we are. How are you doing this morning? Good morning and welcome to the Wake.Show. My name is Chris Fisher. Man, I look rough today. I've been looking worse and worse every show. I think if you go back to the beginning of this, I look like a normal human being. But man, I look rough. Now, granted, it is the morning after my karaoke. At Park and Rec on Wednesday night, where I don't get home till late. 12:45, and then in bed after 1, and then back up at 4:30, and there we go. Good morning. Let me get some more coffee in me. We got to do some sharing here in a second. Or by a second, I mean right now. Our guest today, Chris McCarty, will be coming back in the studio. I think he's bringing his guitar too. We're going to talk a little bit less about death and more about other things. Let's see. We'll get the stuff you should know here in just a little bit. Also, we got some Trump stuff we got to talk about. You can't help it. Let's see. First of all, you have Trump announcing his fake news awards. So we'll get to that. We also have CNN saying that predicting Trump's going to have a heart attack in the next 3 to 5 years. Then we'll get to the Stormy Daniels things. For those of you that follow porn stars and stuff like that, Stormy Daniels is a big name in that world. So we'll talk about their affair. Also, let's see here. Yeah, we got some sexual harassment stuff to talk about this morning. Aziz Ansari. Have you heard the term affirmative consent? We all know no means no, but this is a yes means yes campaign. Meaning that there's no sex at all. There's no sexual advances or contact or anything of the sort unless there is a verbal yes. We've made those jokes that you're not going to allow to have relationships anymore or try to start a relationship without a contract. This is not quite that, but it is close. We'll talk about that coming up. Bridget Bardot slams the Me Too as a crowd as women who are seeking publicity. We will get to that story because now, since the Harvey Weinstein first broke, it was no holds barred going after all these men. But in recent weeks, there has been this pushback, and it's interesting when it does come from females as well. The female side of the human spectrum, and it's a very interesting take. So we'll get to that coming up as well. Florida driver died because faulty airbag. We'll get to that story. And a Florida father files a lawsuit against ex-wife's son after drowning. Now I know this is it's a tragic story. It's a horrible story. But we'll get to the details of it because it's a story of, you have split custody and whatever, and one set of parents is watching the children, and they're watching TV, I guess, and he goes, "Oh, I'll take a nap." Lays down, takes a nap, gets up, and both the kids are at the bottom of the pool, and now the other, set of parents, or the father, who lost one of his children, obviously destroyed and is suing. So we will get to that. I mean, because is this just, it sucks. It's tragic. It's horrible. But does anybody need to be sued over this? Because what he's basically saying is when you've got 2-year-olds, you don't take a nap. If you got 2-year-olds, you're hovering over them because they're 2-year-olds. So we'll get to that coming up on the show as well, as long as with stuff you should know. All right, we got to do some sharing this morning. Let me check, make sure are we on? All right, good. I don't see where. Let's do that. Also, let me change. I want to change a camera angle while we're at it. I don't know what the hell I was thinking when I did this. Actually, I know what I was thinking. Nothing. I didn't adjust this morning. Let's do this for now. There you go. That's some high-tech stuff right there. That's some high-techery. High-techery. I wouldn't take a nap if I were at my house either. Good morning, Keith. All right, now that hold on, I'm commenting right here. No, I don't want to pin that to the top of the Keith. Let's book you to come in the show. Next week, maybe. Keith Connor's a buddy of mine. Sorry for me sniffling and all that crap. Keith Connor's a buddy of mine that I worked with at CMG at Cox Media Group, and he was at Magic 94.9 for years. Been doing radio for, I don't know, 20, a long time, 25, 30, 40 years. I'll guess, yeah, man, come in. I think we could have a lot of fun, Keith. You never know. Yeah, I know he's also a realtor and whatnot, and hustling. Doing what he can, but that's right, we want to share. Let's do a little sharing before we get moving this morning. Yeah, the old sniffles. Wait. Let's do this. I want the camera to go off me for a second where's my tissue? Hey, why don't you stare at my desktop for a couple of minutes there? Wait. Oh, yeah, some good stuff right there. You can hear in the background. 31 degrees here in the Bay Area. What kind of nonsense is that? I still haven't shared anything. Yeah, where I keep meaning to. Here's one of the things that I should have done already this week, and I keep forgetting. I keep pushing it back. So I'm going to tell you, and I hopes that it'll bounce back, and I'll remember after the show today. Damn it! Hold, please. What I need to do is call CSB. And that is the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. Achoo! All right, back to sharing. Remember, kids, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. We had the stuff you should know here in just a couple of minutes. Audio's working fine. All right, the Wake.Show. Have you guys been outside yet? Have you been just stood in it? Last night at Park and Rec. I'm using the freezing cold as a replacement for alcohol. So I'm doing a dry January, and I guess all the bartenders over at Park and Rec are doing a dry January as well. And but when you're doing 4 hours of karaoke, that's not easy to not drink, And when you're like me and you're not a good singer, so it really helps to have a couple of pops in you. It's not easy, but anyway. So it's when it's freezing out, like it was last night and last week. When I'm sitting there, I'm starting getting a little antsy, and I'm like, man, this would be a good time for a beer. I go outside. I'll go outside and just stand there for as long as I possibly can take it, and then like 10 seconds longer, and then come inside, and woo! It's rejuvenating. All right, let me just do this real quickly. Good morning again. And post. All right, coming up on the show today, singer-songwriter Chris McCarty. I want to see what time he's coming in this morning. Chris, what is your ETA? ? All right. We good now? We good? It's up to you, Fish. You tell us if you're good or not. I'm not good. I'm never good. All right, let me gulp this, and then we'll get to stuff you should know. That wasn't much of a gulp as it was a sip. All right, Cords. Hi, Keith. Cords. Sounds great. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, Keith, come in, man. It'll be a lot of fun. Finally going to get Nate Farmer on tomorrow, Napoleon. He called me yesterday apologizing up and down that he stood me up on Monday. And he was supposed to be on the show. And this is an old morning show partner of mine, a guy that I did radio for years. And so he knows the importance of when you're sitting there plugging a guest. You say, oh, I got my guest coming up, and all of a sudden they are not there, And he was very, very apologetic, and we'll have him on tomorrow, allegedly, in theory, at 7:30 our time. No, 8:30 our time, 7:30 his time. All right, I got that out of the way. I got to do that. Got to do that on a Thursday morning. Got to do that pretty much every morning. All right, so let's do a shot. Let's get that shot in. That is where Chris McCarty will be sitting. Also, Keith, that's where you will be sitting when you come in and join me sometime next week. And, what I was saying about CSB, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I've been meaning to, or I should have called them 2 days ago, to get interns in here, because that would be awesome. All right. Let's get to stuff you should know. Last night was one of the coldest nights of the year, prompting shelters to open across the Bay Area. And that's something I didn't even know about. I was talking to the security guys out there. They're saying that these shelters, I was curious, don't open. These cold weather shelters don't open until it gets to, they were saying 40 degrees, and then they open up. Tonight will only be a couple degrees warmer, according to Tin Weather WTSP. Friday will warm up to the mid-60s. Saturday and Sunday, back up into the mid-70s. Here's stuff you should know for Thursday, January 18th. 9 Florida State University students have been charged in connection with the November death of a 20-year-old fraternity pledge, including 2 from the Tampa Bay area. An investigative report reveals the chaotic scene and binge drinking at the Pi Kappa Phi party that police said took place before Andrew Coffey died from alcohol poisoning. A Manatee County teacher was arrested and charged with unlawful sexual activity with a minor. Well, is that even news anymore? The 34-year-old Stephen Joseph Kempa was a teacher at Manatee School of the Arts in Palmetto when the investigation began on January 4th. The victim in the case is a 16-year-old girl who is not a student at the school. A woman known in Brandon as Mrs. Claus is now in federal prison. Yolanda Camara was featured on ABC Action News in 2016 because her home burned down near Christmas time. She was known for giving gifts to the neighborhood children. Quote, "Everybody comes here, family, friends, and neighbors, so it's hard not to have that stability," said Camara. But prosecutors said that she was operating an illegal pill mill out of the Family Medical Express in Brandon. She was arrested along with her son, Justin Oliveira. Investigators say the site was responsible for illegally prescribing 28,000 oxycodone pills and 6,000 Xanax pills to 3 people. Just kidding about the 3 people part. And movie theater attendance hits a 24-year low as ticket prices rise nearly 4%. This past summer was 92 million admissions short of the previous summer. Let me say that again. The summer attendance this past year, 92 million people less than last summer. An unusual empty August accounted for half of summer 2017's shortfall. And that is stuff you should know for today. We'll get to some of the stories that I brought up and promoted a little bit earlier on the show. Like I said, we got Chris McCarty coming in. I hope everybody is doing well today, checking in. Livia Del Gudici. I'll never get that right. Hi, Livia. Good morning. Gadice? Del Gadice. That's why Cords. That's why I texted him, because I want to know. And if he's gonna beat you here, since he hasn't already texted me, I'm sure he's not going to beat you here. But if he was going to beat you here, then I was going to pull up some Bake More music and put on a song, put on a performance while I went down and I got him. But all right, so you guys want to peruse some of the news of the day before he gets here? Lighten things up and play some music. I think starting tomorrow, maybe not, definitely Monday. I'm going to start bringing the dogs in. Start bringing Joey and Roxy in, and we'll have the Yorkie cam, the puppy cam, to cut to during the show. That'll be fun. Where do you guys want to start with this? A couple of Trump things. Let's go back a couple. Let's Let's start with his health, okay? This was last Friday, right, that he had his, was it last Friday that he had his exam? And now CNN is predicting his first heart attack. His first heart attack will be within 3 to 5 years. Despite President Trump's positive health exam results, CNN simply won't accept the White House doctor's assessment. Pundits who have examined Trump parsed the results and drew conclusions likely intended to scare viewers. This is coming from the AmericanMirror.com. And the host, Allison Camerota, and medical analyst Sanjay Gupta declared Trump to be borderline obese, predicted he would have a heart attack in 3 to 5 years, and Gupta concluded the president has heart disease. Camerota held back laughs over Trump's height, which the exam found to be 6'3", although he has 6'2" on his license. Quote, somehow he's grown while being in the White House. Because of Trump's body weight of 239, she said the body mass index is 29.9. Gupta conceded the BMI ratio is not a perfect ratio by any means, which it is not. That is, I still, for those who've been following me for years, that's something that I've argued against for years. Is how this BMI thing works. And you run any football player through this BMI ratio, and every single one of them come out obese. Well, but for the average person, it's pretty spot on. Well, so Gupta says, or what she said was he's 1 point away from being in the obese category. After Vice President Joe Biden's doctor panned CNN's hysteria, Camerota went back to Gupta. Because of Trump's calcium score, CNN predicted the president will have a heart attack or heart disease in 3 to 5 years. But Gupta was more aggressive about this. So he says the president already has heart disease. Yesterday, CNN host Brian Stelter didn't accept Dr. Ronnie Jackson's findings either. Brian tweeted, here's how the next few hours will go. Trump supporters will say concerns about Trump's mental health were way absurd. Case closed now. The obvious response, the cues about fitness for office are serious. Someone could be sharp as a tack, but still unfit. Quote, all right, so that's enough of that. So Sanjay Gupta, now they don't get full access to these records, but Sanjay Gupta feels like he has enough information where he can say that the president, 5 minutes. Cords. All right, let's see how we damn it. I had a feeling. There was nothing I could have done. Well, there was something I could have done, but I can't, I just, I get here really, really early, right? So, I got to let myself in. And there was a part of me this morning that wanted to leave the front door unlocked because I had a feeling this would happen. But I can't, I don't feel comfortable doing that under any circumstances. So, all right. Here's what I'm going to do then. We're going to go, we'll talk a little bit more. I'm going to pull up some music for you to enjoy on this Thursday morning. Performance here at Bake More Pies. No, Cords, don't apologize, man. Don't apologize. Don't apologize at all. So that's what I'll do. Here in a couple of minutes. Well, I'm going to tell him to text me when he gets here. And then I'm going to put on a song. I better put on two. Because that's quite a walk from the studio where I'm located. It's a cave. It's tucked way back in the Himalayas of Bake More Pies. You have to ascend. Oh, you know what else I could do? Wait a second. I think I could pull myself up on a Memo call and use my phone to broadcast or to stream and just keep. Hold on a second. I haven't done that since I've been sitting in this seat. So should we try that? What do you think? I don't know. Screw it, right? Let's see what happens. I need to learn how to use this function too. So wait. So join call. It should punch me right in. Okay. So I am there. But which person am I? All right, here we go. Waiting for partner. Oh, I'm Mimo call 3. 1, 2. So I see Mimo call 1, 2, and 4. Oh, there's 3. Live. Let's go live. Let's go live. Ah, son of a. Not sure what's up. All right, so we're not going to be able to do that then. I'll put on some music here in a second, and we'll go get him, and then figure out this dealio. I see it. Waiting for partner. Waiting for partner. Waiting for partner. Oh no, I'm Mimo call 1. Why aren't I there? Let me try it again. Nope. Not going to happen. All right, no worries. We'll put on a song here in a minute and go down and get Chris, bring him up, start chatting it up, play a little music today. Let me go ahead and... All right, so you got CNN announcing the president's, saying that he's going to have a heart attack, that he's already got heart disease. Also, because of that 6'3", 6'2" thing, Sanjay Gupta also said, well, that extra 1 inch puts him under, but if he is 6'2", like it says on his license, like he's been all of his entire life except for the last couple of years, last year or so, then that does put his body mass index over 30, which does put him in the obese category. And he said that because he coupled that with what he knows about some cholesterol medicine that he knows he takes or something along those lines. So from what I understand anyway, and Sanjay Gupta put that together and said, okay, the president already has heart disease. And then they predicted that he is going to have a heart attack within the next 3 to 5 years. Trump's announced his fake news awards, and it was a total shit show. This is coming from BuzzFeed, by the way. I know there's a lot of periodicals. There's a lot of articles I could write. I went to BuzzFeed on this one just because I like the way that they had broke the thing down. On Wednesday at 8 p.m., I just began karaoke at a park and rec, and President Donald J. Trump tweeted his long-awaited, highly anticipated, super hyped fake news awards. The internet collectively pounced and eagerly clicked the link in his tweet to see who the winners were. Earlier in the month, the president teased that he was going to present the awards a few days late. The interest in and importance of these awards is far greater than anyone could have anticipated, he claimed. Except the awards posted Wednesday on GOP.com were not viewable. Instead, hordes of people got a 404 error page. Do this. Got a 404 error page. Don't worry, we're making it great again. The error message on the Republican National Committee website read. There's the message right there. 404 error. Don't worry, we're making it great again. Start here. Others landed on a big white blank page with a message that said the site was temporarily offline. People had some ideas of how to fix it. The GOP will fix the broken fake news awards link, and Mexico will pay for it. But after 30 minutes, the site was still down. And they were super lit down that this monumental event in America history was a 404 error. And there's a little, little meme of what's his face. I don't remember his name. Too tired. I don't remember anything. Too tired this morning. Steve Harvey, thank you. Not to worry, though. Who was I thinking? I was thinking the voices in my head. That's who I was thinking. Not to worry, though. Thanks to internet caching, the initial... So we do have the winners here. CNN led with 4 awards, including 1 for a story on Trump feeding fish while visiting Japan, and the New York Times scored 2. ABC, Time, The Washington Post, and Newsweek each received 1. People also started tweeting screenshots and lists themselves since the official side of the Republican Party was broken. Journalists noted, however, that the recipients had publicly issued corrections or faced repercussions for the articles that the president deemed fake. Worth noting that most of the 11 recipients of the fake news awards issued corrections or faced consequences for inaccurate reporting. That's how journalism works. Apparently, though, the award ceremony was super classy. Oh, yeah, look at that loaded nachos. I know it's only 7:47 in the morning. With all the drama, people were sad how politicized the fake news awards have become. And all the mainstream media attention made them so commercial, one Twitter user said. Others thought the whole thing was a sick plot twist in this crazy reality television show of life we are living in, or that maybe the blank screen / error page was really what we're supposed to see. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe that's what we're supposed to take from this. Someone mused. I mean, in the big picture, if you think about it, the website works. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe that's what we're supposed to take from all of this. In 2013, Trump had this advice for how to fix a complex website that is broken. Blow it up and start all over again, then sue the culprits and use the proper team. More than 40 minutes after the president tweeted the awards, GOP.com was still down. The party then addressed the crash in a tweet saying, "Traffic is off the charts. Come back soon." That's what you got to do when your website's down. That's what I do. That's what I do every single morning here when we come in and I mess something up and there's audio not playing or I don't have a video feed or whatever the heck's going on. I just say, oh, it's just we have way too many people streaming. That's that'll get you every single time. All right. Finally, after nearly 3 hours, the page loaded, which showed the highly anticipated 2017 Fake News Award. It was a blog post. And there you go. Fake news. And fake news, of course, as the president has come under fire from people in his own party for going after the media the way that he does, calling the media the enemy of state and saying these are the tactics of people like Joseph Stalin and Mao. Was Mao a general? Is it General Mao? Or am I confusing him with General So and his chicken? Probably the latter. Thank you. Oh, no. Let's go to Bake More Pies. You guys want to get some music on here? I'll go get Chris. Bake More Pies. Sorry for sniffling right into the microphone. All right, so Chris will be, well, he said 5 minutes. I probably should have figured 5 minutes means like 10 minutes. Let's see. Uh-oh, there he is. He's here. Let me text him. I'm coming down to get him. I'm here. Door closed. I'm on my way. All right, let me fire up a video for you guys and go get Chris. How about that?
I'm good, Wes.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody, from beautiful Tampa Bay. It's Bake More Music, brought to you by Bake More Pies and powered by the Gasparilla Music Festival. Thank you so much for joining us live worldwide on Facebook. I'm so excited for tonight's band. This is our 4th installment of Bake More Music. Please help me welcome Fayroy.
And that was from Bake More Music. Make sure you go to Bake More Music on Facebook for more. And we have another Bake More Music coming up on tomorrow. Oh, tonight. Tonight there'll be one. I believe that is at 7:30ish, somewhere right around there. So we can go like Bake More Pies and check out who we've got rolling through tonight. And I apologize that I don't have that information in front of me. Why? Because I'm a horrible host, obviously. That's why. And that's why I got to bring in talent like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, Mr. Chris McCarty.
Yo.
How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you, man?
Doing all right. So go ahead and just, swing that microphone pointing a little bit more towards you.
Yep.
And that's all we need right there. You'll be good. Welcome back.
Thank you, man.
Hey, how do you feel? You're over at a desk today.
I got a desk. I feel like an assistant, a sidekick. It's pretty cool. I'm all desked out.
That's the director's desk.
That's the
director's.
I'll
There
tell
you
you
go.
what to do. That's what you do. Listen to me.
Singer-songwriter Chris McCarty back in the studio. It's great to have him. And we'll play a couple of songs coming up here in just a little bit.
Yes.
But after Chris was on the show last week, Chris was texting me like crazy.
Yeah.
Because he felt like his appearance was...
I felt like I dropped the ball. I felt like I gave the wrong impression that I was like this melancholy dude who thinks about the sad, negative death and whatnot, where it's just I'm actually full of life. And, you only get one impression. So I'm so glad you invited me back so I could, let everybody know that I'm actually... here's... We just got deep. It's just I hadn't seen you in a while. And that's
right.
the thing,
And that's the thing about Chris and I. When he and I get together, we have a tendency to talk about,
life.
Life, death, the abstract.
The pursuit of happiness.
All that kind of stuff. And so it came out on the air. So last week you and I were talking about death a lot.
Yeah.
And then you started talking about how we're all gods.
Yes.
And that's where
and that's where things just kind of sort of fell apart.
Yeah, there you go. So welcome back in, man. No, you know what we'll do is we'll go through some of the news of the day that I've pulled off. Cool. And just chat, man. Just chat. How you doing this morning?
I'm well, man. I want to talk about your marriage. Make sure you guys.
What?
Yeah, I'm curious. We haven't talked. We're catching up. We got to the abstract. Now we're talking about concrete. You, Lauren, happy. You said something about creating universes last week. That's big news. I want to know what's going on with that.
Wait, all right. Wait, hold. you. When we started talking about,
he's like, it's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet, man.
When you started talking about, everybody are gods or whatnot, and I'm like, okay, well, let's before we get into this, let's define what that means. And you said, well, basically, everybody has the power to create. Yeah. And if you are a creator, there you are a creator. And I was like, okay, well, and then I did mention something about, I don't know.
Yes.
See, we're already slipping down that path.
But it's a great path.
No.
Creating universes. I want to know. Little fish on the way.
No, let's get to porn star Stormy Daniels described affair with Donald Trump in 2011 magazine. Well, this is what's important today.
All right.
Stormy Daniels is what's important today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Actually, here's what I want to do. I want to adjust one camera angle.
Can you scroll up some? I want to see what she looks like.
You know Stormy Daniels.
No, I don't.
Daniels. She's one of. Well, if you peruse the porn at all, she's been in everything. She's one of the bigger names out there. All right, Chris, rattle on for a sec. Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah.
And while I adjust the camera angle.
So, anyways, it's 7:58. It's almost 8 o'clock. I haven't really been up this early. That's not true. I get up early because of my kids. But before kids, it's just, 8 o'clock was like, what? Come on, man. Last time was like 5th grade or something like that. So it's amazing how children can actually change and make everything all right at the same time. Like kids, like you lose time, but you also gain so much more like fulfillment with children. Like for at least that's what I've noticed. You
know what, how Jonny
goes by so fast, man. Time goes by so fast now. But
how Jonny Torres, the guy that was sitting in that seat for the beginning of the show, the inception of the show, he said that having kids, it's like a 60-40 split. 60% of the time, it is negative. 40% of the time it's positive, but he says that 40% of positivity there's so much positivity that goes along with it that it outweighs the 60% of the time that it's stressful and
But then
unfulfilling.
how can it be 40 if it outweighs 60?
I don't know, man.
I think you meant it 60% happy and 40 negative. I would give it that. I would probably say 70-30. Like no.
All right, I like that shot better.
Nah, man, having kids is amazing, brother. Having kids is amazing. It's to me, man, it's just like truth. Kids tell you what the truth is. You know what I mean? They remind you of like, you know, your immortality. They let you know how time really, it just goes by so fast, so it doesn't really exist because it's just gone. And they just bring so much laughter. Like I laugh all the time. They're just cute, and you get to live vicariously through them again. And
what are their ages?
Excited. 5 and 3.
5 and 3.
I mean, perfect age, man. Perfect age. Well, you know, they're fighting now, which I'm not a big fan of that. They had a big fight on Tuesday. Oh,
And
I had to
you're-
keep him from home, from school.
And your
Bad.
son is the older.
Yes.
And now I haven't seen your kids in at least a year.
Yeah, right. I think that, yeah.
And I can imagine that your
They're
5-year-old's almost as tall as you now.
He's huge, man.
Is he? Aw.
You see it? That's what I'm talking about. That's what it's real, man. Like,
All right. So
Aw.
as far as my wife and I go,
yes.
I told you. I said the plan is.
I know she's ready. She's pushing. I know she's pushing.
It's not that she's pushing. She's 30. She's got some. She doesn't think she has any time, but she has time.
She got time. She has time.
But it's just part of the plan. Part of her plan.
I know. I remember, Lloyd. Yes.
This has been on the.
You do it, man.
This has been on the board for a year now, and
I love it.
this has been on the board since her best friend got proposed to.
Okay.
Because she knew she was going to be in her wedding, which is in March.
Look at that. That's amazing.
And she's like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be pregnant, when I'm in somebody else's wedding. But I think, it depends because there's also a money situation, And hopefully here in the next month,
They're expensive.
Really,
yeah,
month.
They're expensive.
Things start to change a little bit for me. And so if all goes well,
Right.
then I would imagine when we go down to the Keys for this wedding, we'll pull the goalie on the way down there. And just go ahead and say, okay, it's open season.
Here you go.
It's open season on your eggs.
Which gladiator is going to fight? That's me just knocking on the door of the egg. Hey, I just want to talk to you. Can I come in?
It's going to be open season on your ovaries.
I'm just... Man,
Sorry.
look at you, dude. You talk about your wife like that, man.
All right, let's get back to porn. No. So that's the deal. So at 40. So if all goes well, then she's pregnant by in April sometime.
I mean, that's
June, July, August.
Are you nervous? Do you want to? You know what? I don't ever know. We talked about that. If you ever really wanted to have kids growing up, you're looking about January, February, March.
Do I want to have? I mean, the way that I've pretty much always seen it is if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not driven by I need to have a little me.
Right.
I got to make sure that my bloodline lives on, that my legacy, that I leave something behind.
Yeah, I have that thing going on. I really do. I don't know.
I'll tell you. You notice by the sarcasm, the swarminess in my voice that there's a little bit of a negative connotation that I obviously associate with that. But I do realize that is a driving force for many, many men. And when I hear them talk about it, I am completely disconnected. I do not get it at all. But what I do get is the passion that is in their eyes, the realness that is in their tone when they're talking about how, not even 2, 3, 4 months ago, talking to somebody, and I don't want to, his name is Sam. His name is Sam.
Sam I am.
And he's got a little girl who he loves and adores. Mm-hmm. But right now, I can't remember what he said he was up to. They're up to $40,000, $50,000 they're spending to try to get a son.
Wow.
And he is just so, it's just, to listen to him talk about how important this is to him, to me, it's almost offensive. Excuse me. It's almost offensive. But he's not the only one. Chris, you're like you have a similar kind of a thing, and so does I would say most men that I've talked to.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to their son. There's a legacy.
Yeah.
Can you explain? Can you remove yourself and from your own brain and kind of break what you think that is, that drive?
I want to say to some degree, I would say a level of evolution. Watching the speed's changing, things are getting faster as you see, and so when you see, like, perfect example, we now know that I'm doing like the one-man band thing with the guitar and I loop and all this stuff, right?
You and Ed Sheeran,
right? So the other day, my 3-year-old has her ukulele, and I got him a little toy drum set. She's kicking and playing the guitar and kicking and singing at the same time. Like, she's never seen me do that. And I'm like, wow, that's my kid. Like, look at how fast it goes. So I almost feel like to some degree there's that evolutionary like aspect of just kind of seeing, where we evolve to. And then I would say, with you, I was thinking, you have so many brothers. That's like so many almost the same people in one. I wonder if that has anything to do with your lack of necessarily caring about legacy or going forward, because they're here and you see your nephews and nieces, so you're like, oh, there it is. Because with me, it's kind of me and my brother, so it's just us. And so I really feel alone. And so I feel like I walk alone, so maybe there's some part of me that wants to keep that going. And I know the good deeds that I do in life, and I know how, I've seen how I've changed things.
So it's like having your own little partner?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to say, like, someone you can mold. Like, you and I have different aspects of how we think life is, and
I don't want to mold anybody, Chris. I don't need to be molding anybody.
And I hear you, but I mean, I see, like, I hear my children. I see how they say thank you all the time, and thank you, no thank you, and I see they're being polite, and I see them give, I see them hug, and I see how they light up the room, just what they do just by them and being so happy, and so you can't help but wonder, all right, well, what would they do in adding to this world, because they're here for a reason.
No,
so I don't know. Maybe that's part of the driving force in that, with me at least.
I get that aspect when it comes to wanting just children in general, but that drive for a lot of men to have a boy to pass. Like, I think it goes, whatever that thing is that drives our ego and pride and that thing in us where we have to dominate our environment. I wonder if it's in there that we find the answers.
It might be in our DNA. Well, not for. Well, yeah, it's not.
Well, see, the thing is, we think about how many times in my life that I've been called a woman, that I've been called a fag and a sissy and a pussy, because I do not exhibit a lot of these so-called man traits. I do not have this hypersensitive competitiveness. Going back to even my teen years, when you're even the most competitive. Don't get me wrong. I can be very competitive.
Yes.
But for the most part, like, we're watching the 1984 Olympics. I would have been 12 years old. We're dominating, crushing everybody. And in me and my heart, I'm not all my friends around me, yeah, America, kicking the shit out of the world, raw. And in me, I'm like, oh, man, I hope some of the other countries win.
I'm that same way.
Which is a very...
I link up with you there.
Which is a very, traditionally a female-oriented trait. To have that kind of compassion for a competitor, not just the teeth come out. You're my enemy, and
you say female. What's interesting though? I can't say I disagree or agree, but I've run into multiple men growing up that have expressed that same outlook on looking at competition and that. I've seen many men say that more than I've heard women say that compassion. So I don't know if it's necessarily like a female thing, or if it's a people thing, because I know there's a level of compassion.
But anyway, I don't know. I know I'm a weird
you're a different
dude.
breed, man. You're a different breed, which is awesome.
It doesn't.
I like it. I wish more people were like that. Like, like, hey, go good for you. Like, I want everyone else to. Remember last week I was like, come on, Alabama, you win all the time. Could someone else win? Like,
right.
I had that same thing. Like, come on, man. Rooting for the underdog. I get it. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Wake.Show this morning. My name is Chris Fisher. My good friend Chris McCarty is joining us this morning. Chatted up about some of the issues of the day, and we'll play some music here. Now, so you've gone live on your Facebook page as well?
Yep.
And is that facebook.com/Chris McCarty?
Yes, it is.
All right, Chris McCarty, MCC.
Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Denise.
Oh, I should probably be taking... Hey, while he's taking care of his fans, I'll take care of our viewers. Good morning, Cords. Chairman Mao. Elliot, good morning. Chris Brown, good morning. Lisa Kraft, good morning. Thank you so much. Back to the show. All right, let's go ahead and bring up Stormy Daniels then. All right. So Stormy Daniels, I guess her and Trump had a thing. Let's see, in 2006, she told a different story in 2011. All right, adult movie actress Stormy Daniels last week purportedly denied having any extramarital affair with Donald Trump back in 2006, but she told a different story in 2011, according to a recently rediscovered magazine interview published Wednesday. In Touch magazine, which has just made public a 7-year-old interview with Daniels in which she claims a sexual relationship with Trump began after she met the future president at a celebrity golf tournament in July of 2006 in Lake Tahoe. Quote, I actually don't even remember why I did it, but I do remember while we were having sex, I was like, please don't try to pay me. Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie. I've met her a few times, though, by the way. Chris.
You have?
Yep.
Is she nice?
She is awesome.
Really?
Believe it or not, Stormy Daniels is absolutely...
what about her makes her awesome to you? And you were like, man, you're awesome.
I could not believe how pleasant, how cordial, how intelligent, the personality that she... You know, we've had a lot of, porn stars and strippers and so on roll through the studio over the years. And the stereotypes fit. And
That's
a lot
why
of
they're there for the most part.
Yeah, and a lot of times they're in there and they've got their sunglasses on and it's they're barely able to get up in the morning and they still smell like the club from the night before and whatever. But
Right.
Stormy Daniels, another way to describe her, I guess, would be professional. She was always very professional when she came by the studio.
Nice.
So she goes, but this is interesting. She goes, I actually don't remember why I did it, but I do remember while we were having sex, I was like, please don't try to pay me. And then I remember thinking, but I bet if he did, it would be a lot.
That's cool.
In an article headlined, Donald Trump cheated on Melania with me, In Touch asserts that Daniels told the magazine that she and Trump, then the host of NBC's The Apprentice, had several more encounters over the next few years after the Tahoe meeting. Whether you're a fan of his or not, quote unquote, which I never really was, you got to admit he's pretty fascinating, she said in the interview. We had a really good banter. He told me once that I was someone to be reckoned with, beautiful and smart, just like his daughter.
Oh, that's so distasteful. No, you don't do that, homie.
Oh, banging you fulfilled my fantasy of... All right. In Touch says that Daniel's story was corroborated in 2011 by her good friend Randy Spears and supported by her ex-husband Mike Moss. NBC News reached out to Daniel, Spears, Moss, and the White House for comment and received no response. The In Touch interviews surfaced after the Wall Street Journal reported last week that a lawyer for Trump, Michael Cohen, paid Daniels $130,000 in hush money a month before the 2016 presidential election. Cohen also provided a statement that was signed in the name of Daniels that called rumors of the affair and hush money completely false. Quote, when I met Donald Trump, he was gracious, professional, and complete gentleman to me and everyone in my presence, reads a letter, which begins, to whom it may be concerned. Da, da, da. So that's that on that. Stormy Daniels in the news. Like I said, man, she would surprise you. Another person that surprised me the first time that I met him? A completely different person that I thought he would be. The Hedgehog, Ron Jeremy.
Sonic? No, I'm kidding.
Ron Jeremy.
Really?
The guy who's been doing porn since the 70s. Right. Yeah.
Well, he's probably just real chill.
Well, actually, he is. I don't want to say he's intense, but high energy.
Oh,
high, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, so
boom,
he's
boom,
really intelligent then.
Very intelligent.
Yeah.
And then, you're sitting there. Not only are you having good discussions with him on the air that you're surprised about, but once you get off the air and start talking, he is. I mean, I'm not going to call the man a genius, but you can tell he is.
Has a genius. So everyone has a genius level. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the same thing. But I mean, look, if we all know who he is, he's able to capitalize and have a life of doing something very natural. Hey, there's a genius in that, man. like I did something that all y'all, you guys,
wish you could have done.
You pay to do some of y'all. I get paid to do. Like hey, more power.
Well, when you're hung like a rhinoceros too, that always helps in that profession.
So let me ask you a question. So who have you met that you were let down by? You know what I mean? Like I have those stories, like there's
a couple people.
Can we actually finally, I don't really talk the negative things and about people and things, but can we have a forum right now, the spot where we can just kind of go back and forth and, hey, I met this person and I met this person and yeah, like let's go back and forth. I wonder who you know.
We can.
Right.
I will always like. I personally am careful when I go down that path because I have met enough people over the years to know that you got to be careful with that that first impressions thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're meeting a celebrity.
Because you don't know how tired they've been. Or
right.
They've been
and you're like, well, screw them. If they're a celebrity, then they should always be in a certain frame of mind.
Well, let's not go negative. Let's just say positive.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Okay.
A disappointment or somebody that really rubbed me the wrong way when he rolled through.
All right, we'll go back. Some people know my stories.
Comedian and former SNL player Tracy Morgan was a complete jerk, just a nasty, nasty jerk, and it was very disappointing, off-putting, and basically it was this: he comes into the studio, he's got a guy with a bodyguard with him, entourage. And as I start asking about his SNL days, the first thing that he does is starts talking about himself in third person. Tracy Morgan doesn't talk about what he did. He's talking about what he's doing, and I'm just like, well, there goes every one of my questions, because up to this point, all he's known for is SNL and those stupid effing Sprite commercials. Right. Do you remember when he did those? I think it was Sprite or 7-Up, and he had a little half shirt on and like butt shorts and whatever. This is all the guy was known for at the time. Yeah. And now he's sitting down there with an ego, going, man, Tracy Morgan doesn't talk about SNL. Right. And when he is making those statements, he doesn't even look at me across the board. Right. He doesn't look at me. He looks at his bodyguard. You know what I mean?
That's off, man.
And so I'm trying to push the interview forward, and I wish I had a different kind of personality in these moments, because I'm a non-confrontational person.
Right.
And I could see if this was a Bubba or a Mike Calta or an Orlando or some of those other radio personalities here, big radio personalities here in the Bay Area, I could see them pulling the brake on the show, right? Stopping, focusing right on that, and then confronting Tracy Morgan to make a very uncomfortable situation there. Why? Because that's great radio.
That's true.
But I'm such a pussy. Yeah. I'm such a people pleaser. I just want everybody to be happy. That I'm like, oh, of course, I'm trying, and then trying to move on with other questions, and then I get to we're cruising, right? And I go, so have you ever run into somebody at a party or out in public that you had done an impersonation of or mocked? And again, he turns to his bodyguard and goes, look at this, something effective. Look at this guy again. I thought I said that I don't talk about, my past. And because I didn't say SNL, I didn't say that you did on SNL. I mean, I'm sure you've mocked people up on stage as well. Just have you ever run into somebody that you have impersonated, and and so he gives me another one of those answers.
You're giving him an interview for people who just joined in. You're giving Tracy Morgan an interview, and you're talking to him, and he's not looking at you. He's looking over here, right, talking to you. Right. Continue.
And so once he said that was it for me, and I go, okay, well, Tracy Morgan at the Improv all weekend, go see him, I guess. There you go.
Yeah, that's great.
So there was one.
You hope they change through that.
So that was one that was a big disappointment. So for you, now your turn.
Some people have heard this story. My story would be, I'm like 5 people know this. I met John Mayer. Before
and he was a jerk
before he blew up. Right. This is like before Room for Squares. I'm in Athens, Georgia, on the road, and I went to this music store. And I walked in, and this is like right at the time when I first heard about the dude. And I go to this music store in Athens, and like everyone turns to the door. And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? You know what I mean? And who's standing behind me? But John Mayer walks in, right? And he's got like these camouflage pants on, like these dirty, like white shoes, like this shirt he got from the thrift store, whatever. And like, when we talked, I mean, he was cool. You could tell that he was humble and. Because he was just big in that area, and like he was making Room for Squares at the time. And then Room for Squares comes out, and his first show on the tour, His first show. That right now I'm signed. I do this. The first time it's about to drop. It's packed. It's in Gainesville. His first show. He has a tour bus now, you know. And when we were in Athens, I had his number. So we were texting, you know, like, hey, let me come through. Whatever.
Wait, what? You were texting with John Mayer?
Yeah. And so then,
yeah.
So then afterwards, well, no, I didn't mean it like that. Just at the time, we both were at the same spot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I had a 3-way call between John Mayer and Dave Matthews.
Well,
and we were just talking about death.
Talking about death and the death of our friendship that was going to happen 2 seconds later. And so and then after the show, I mean, it was just a long line of fans went and we talked to him, and everyone's like, you know, and I'm sitting waiting, like hanging back. And so then, you know, I make some phone calls and I come back and it's dead. It's just him and this girl. I'm like, yo, can we talk for a second? You're gonna talk to me. And he goes, and the girl whispers something in his ear. She goes on his tour bus. He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe, and slams the door. And I was like, gotcha. And then what was crazy is like, you know,
yeah, but you gotta. That's not what set you up. Okay.
I understood. It's just to me, as dudes. Like, yo, man, be cool to everybody, man. Like, yo, just, hey, man.
You don't know what.
Why not be like, bro, you saw that? Like, I got to go handle that, son. All right, bro. All right, cool.
You don't know what she whispered in his ear.
Hey, you right? Come and take a bite of this apple, dog. Yeah, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that was that. That was, you know, I mean, it was just, you know, you get it. And that's what I was saying about that, but the same with Tracy Morgan. It's like
wait, hold on. So that's your story?
For that one,
that's what disappointed you is that you wanted to talk to your buddy John Mayer, but some girl whispered something in his ear?
What it is, it's you're very cool, very, very cool in the very beginning. And then you're cool. We're cool. Like, we're cool. You don't... Like, we're acknowledging each other and hey, check this out.
So what happened? Did you start?
And then it was just kind of like, hey, you're like, yo, we've been. Oh, I don't know, man. That's all you say. That's just weird, dog. Like, you know, that's just weird to me. So
right. So did you? When he went back on the bus, did you wait like 3 minutes and start texting him again?
No.
Hey, what are you doing?
I sent his number to everyone else and had them just blow up his phone. No, yeah, that's funny. No, but that was it. He's really people.
I can't remember the name because you know, Chris McCarty is a singer-songwriter here in the Bay Area, and has opened up for Dave Matthews. Has been on not Dancing with the Stars. Who's got Talent? America's Got Talent. You know, made it
Dancing with the Stars one day.
Made it out to Las Vegas. For one of the rounds, but didn't make. We were all watching television that night. You didn't make the cut.
Do you remember that?
I did, man. I felt so bad for you because, well, I was there. I was there when Chris McCarty had his audition at the Mahaffey. Is that where it was? At the Mahaffey, and Chris is a great performer by himself. You know, in that category of for you know Ed Sheeran. You know, and I was very excited for him. And I'm at the Mahaffey, and I only have so much time before I have to get to work myself. And I was there just long enough just to see Chris, right? And he's crushing it, doing his thing. And then he gets to a portion of his song, and just, this is where I want to say the F-bomb. I want to drop the F-bomb here, but I'm not going to. Just, I'm sitting there going, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And because his set, because you only got one song, I think it was one song. It just went south real quickly, and I'll let him explain why. Because
I can help you now. Great, I finally get to show you what I was trying to do.
All right, let me explain what he was trying, because I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to, in the middle, because he's just playing his acoustic guitar, right?
So I have a tendency of doing a little too much sometimes, right?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to stand. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to show off the skills of being able to play the guitar.
Right.
Which, all right, so I'm playing a song. This sounds cool, right?
Okay. All right,
now,
cool.
Here's the problem. When they had it plugged in, they had no bass at all going through when they had their whole system together. They had my guitar plugged in.
Okay.
So if you're not getting that. So it sounds like, so all y'all heard was, which sounds absolutely bad. What are you doing? Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what happened. So the idea was I was supposed to sing, which I did when said crushing it, and then go just, slapping and be like, that dude can play the guitar. He's talented.
It seemed to me it seemed to me from my seat that what was happening was you tried to do too much. Like it wasn't your normal. Is that a bridge or a solo or whatever it is you broke when you kind of break down to do that thing? It just seemed like you were trying to do too much in that moment.
Yeah.
And whatever happened,
if they say you got 30 seconds, you got a minute and 30 seconds. I can,
right?
Thank you,
I know.
all the gifts you've given me. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying to cram it all in, at once. That was the problem of, not really understanding that, like, just your voice is enough.
But here's the thing:
like, you got a gift in your voice, you sing.
And I thought for sure that was it. There was no way that you were going to the next round.
Now, but let me tell you, I knew I was going to the next round.
Yeah, so
I think I told you about this.
No, you didn't tell me because
this television, bro.
All right, well, I want you to tell me about it because at the time when I found out that you made it, there was something in my. I was like, wait a second. And all due respect to my good friend, there was no way you should have made it.
Made it because of exactly what happened.
Right,
what's up, brother? Hey,
Chords. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks for coming back.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
All right, so you said you already knew you were going.
I knew I was going to come back because they kept calling me at the time. Ornella was, at the time Ornella was my ex-wife. She was pregnant with Jonny. And of course, it's a television show. So they're like, hey, here's a guy he's about to have a kid. All right, great. So they kept asking, hey, is your wife coming? Hey, is your wife? Hey, is your, I'm like, hey, Ornella.
And you guys were a mixed couple too?
And I'm like, right. Yep. So I'm like, hey, I think they're probably going to pass me through. They keep asking if you're here. And sure enough, they're like, where are the cameras? So afterwards, like, I'm on the phone with her, and like after my audition, they take me to the back area and they were filming me talking to her, and then of course they passed me through, and that's how I knew. I'm like, okay, they're gonna pass me through. And so which goes funny, so when you fast forward to when I was in Vegas, same exact situation. They sequester half of the contestants, the ones that weren't going to make it, the ones that didn't make it, in this room for like 5 days. We're just sitting there for hours. But they're filming the other people on location that they already know that are going to have in. So when you watch it going backwards, when you watch the actual thing, then you watch the Vegas edition, all those people who made it in Vegas, they were filming in Vegas before they even auditioned.
Huh.
Bang. So when and remember you said I should have made it, they're thinking the same thing that they saw, probably not good. So this time I stand up. I'm not doing any of that. I sing, I'm standing, and I start dancing. I sing Let's Get It On and destroy it. So I mean, all the other contestants in the back, they're remembering this. And so they see that, and everyone was like, even Nick Cannon was like, son, you killed it, quote unquote. That's exactly how he said it. Son, you killed it. Right.
But it was too late. They already knew you weren't going to make it.
And so this is why when we said when you watch the TV show, why they didn't play me on.
All right, don't pound the desk. Don't pound the desk.
Oh, my bad. That's why they didn't play me. That's why they didn't play, because they had the...
because they couldn't justify you not going to the next round from there.
Thank you. And so what happened was they had this old guy. This is really, really old guy. He's like 3 feet tall. He was it was just the male vocalist. They took him, and they took the other guy who was on his 5th kid. I was on my 1st kid. So while I'm there, one of the producers, not producer, but one of the guys who worked here goes, it's a television show. He's like, son, and I'm like, okay.
Trying to let you know this is not really a competition.
Exactly. And so then so I'm thinking, well, and they put the other 4 guys who lost, and that's when I knew before I lost. I'm like, I lost? What the? And that's, so you go home, like, it's kind of weird. I'm like, all right, whatever. You watch it and then you realize, so when I'm watching it on TV, that old guy that was in the adult, they put him in another category. So they just X'd me out completely. We can't say that we passed this old dude and not that guy. He can't exist. But the good thing is there are a couple scenes where my fans, friends, whatever, saw me in the background and screenshot and posted on my Facebook. We see you, son. Let's go.
I was so sad, man.
My bad.
I was so sad.
Yeah, dude.
I was so sad because
a lot of people have wondered that. That's the story. What happened with America's Got Talent, y'all? Why they didn't show me? So imagine me. It was like, we got the kids. We're ready to see. Papa's about to be on TV, and it was like, what? They didn't show me at all. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like and of all the contestants, of course, so we're all thinking in our corner, we're on TV, Now we can just say, hey, like just anywhere we want to play, hey, go check me out on America's Got Talent, and they would at least give me the open door.
Well,
so that whole thing was just shut. Yeah, man. But it's everything happens for a reason, man.
That's right. You and I are going to.
And that's when I started looping.
Yeah. Oh, so that wasn't a part of your act then?
No, I would have done it then. That's what when you say everything happens for a reason. So you stop and you go, okay, I didn't make it to New York. I believe that I am one of the most talented people walking. I just believe that. Thank you, God. So if I didn't make it, what does that tell you? That I'm not doing something. I still need something else. There's something missing. I got to get better. What can you do to enhance it? Insert, looping, insert. Okay, now how good do you, okay, and then you start messing with it. And of course, 1,000 hours in anything is mastery. So you pass that and now.
Boom.
Yeah.
This is where
so that's what started the whole thing.
Now, we'll have to have you in to do one of our Bake More music series through Bake More Pies.
Doing another one tonight.
Yeah, there is one tonight. What's the band tonight?
D-Alps.
What's that?
D-Alps.
D-Outs?
The Alps.
The Alps.
It's
Like the Alps. Where you going? I'm going skiing. Where? On the Alps, son.
right.
All right, the Alps. But well, that way you can set up your, set up your whole rig, and show the world what you got.
Really good job.
Yeah,
I'd love to have you.
and it sounds great. It looks great.
Love that.
Yeah, we'll have to get you in for that. All right, so let's go over a couple of the stories that I have remaining, and then we'll set you up on the bring you over here on the couch.
Yeah.
Chords. I'm just going to have him when he makes that transition because the guitar thing's all ready to go. I'm just going to have him unplug the microphone he's using, just plug it into the microphone here. Cool? All right. And then, if anything, we'll just turn some light on him when he comes over to the couch. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the news today. All right, Father. I got a father story for now. This is tragedy, but I want your take on it. This is Fort Pierce, coming out of Fort Pierce. And this story, this is ABC Action News. There's no winners. There are no losers. This is just tragedy, okay? 2 toddler boys are dead. Now, Douglas Stanowicz, and his attorneys say that this is a case about getting answers and finding closure. And for himself, he said, it's also about awareness. You can't take your eyes off children for 1 minute. So here's how this went down. This was October of last year. This man goes, I should have never lost my son. And this is a situation where they're split custody, and his son drowned in the backyard of the swimming pool, and he's suing his son's stepfather and his ex-wife. All right, so the stepfather is watching the 2 little boys. One of them is his. Yeah. And he sat them down at the TV, and they fell asleep. So he decides to get a nap himself. He lays down in the bed. When he gets up, the boys are no longer there. He sees that the back door is open, and the worst fears are realized. All right? So now, the father that wasn't there is suing, saying that this is negligence and that you, if you're watching toddlers, if you're watching 2-year-olds, you don't take your eyes off of them.
You can't.
How do you see this as a father? I mean, this is tragedy up and down.
What's crazy is the reason I'm sitting here like, because that's like those are my fears. I keep thinking to myself, what's happening to my kids when they're at their mom's house?
Right.
And her boyfriend and Adrian Peterson and his son. Remember that. His son got killed by the boyfriend. Remember,
wait.
Adrian
What happened?
Peterson, the football player.
Yeah.
You don't remember his,
well, no, I remember that he was in some trouble
killed,
for.
His son was killed. This is before he was. His son was killed by his the mother's new boyfriend. Oh. Right at 2 years old. Oof. So when you're reading this, I'm thinking, man, that's what scares me. Like, so how do I feel? It's horrible.
Have you ever laid down? Have your little ones ever dozed off, and you went, "Oh, this is a good time for me to doze off too"? No. I do. I'm not a parent now. I'm not a parent.
I say this when it's time for, you say doze off, nap time, absolutely. But I've got my kids trained to come right to daddy but I'm such a light sleeper, man. Like they move a little bit and I'm up. Like that's just.
But at nap time, are they in a different room than you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, no. When they take a nap, they're in their bed.
Okay.
There's never the only time I can say they fall asleep outside of their bed is if they fall asleep on top of me, but I'm awake. There's never a time where they just fall asleep somewhere and I don't put them either in my bed or their bed. Like, that's not happening. I don't. And all my friends will tell you, I'm in my kids' faces constantly. If I don't hear them for 2 seconds, Johnny, what are you doing? Like, I'm just, no, man, you can't.
So from your vantage point, then this lawsuit has merit. That
yes,
even if that guy was going to take a nap, he should have taken a nap right there on the floor next to the children, or because listen, man, I don't like to judge, man.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it because we're being honest. Like, I guarantee you that dad wants to kill that dude. Like,
I know.
I'm looking at like lawsuit.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't want to. No way.
Okay.
No.
All right, let's move on. We're going to get into some.
It's going to be you. We'll ask you that in a year and a half and see what you think.
No, you're exactly right. Because
you'll be a daddy.
I think about the stories from my childhood when I was 2 and 3 and 4 years old, and how it seemed like my parents had a very difficult time keeping an eye on me. But I love my parents. I think they are amazing parents. I wouldn't want any other parent. Right, exactly.
No. Yeah, I agree.
But I think about some of the stories they tell me from my life that are funny. You know, that a neighbor brings me home. I'm naked with my underwear in my hand. I have underoos in my, and they said that I was just chasing squirrels around the yard. You know, and my mom's going, "Oh, wait, I didn't know that he got out."
Right. Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah.
However, however, if I got out of the house that day with my underwear and running around naked with my underwear in my hand, and a pit bull attacked me and killed me, well, then all of a sudden, my mom's the worst, mom in the world at that point, right?
I hear what you're saying.
So that's why I don't want to judge this guy in the story too much, and I wanted your vantage point.
No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's just, again, every parent has that moment where they're so tired, and it's like, do I just leave him here for a second? I mean, we've all been there, and it's just, you can't do it, no matter how because you just don't know what could happen, man, and you just can't take the chance. Because again, like now, the rest of your life, you're looking, what if I wish I would? You just can't, and I get it. I hear you're right. You can't judge, but
I know how paranoid I get.
Dude.
I get paranoid over my Yorkies going out back.
There you go.
My Yorkies going out back just because I'm in a new neighborhood. I know there's coyotes in St. Petersburg, not to mention hawks and,
Yeah, imagine it's something, but imagine it's a life that you take care of better than your own self. There are times I skip breakfast. I never skip breakfast with them. So, I
take care of my dogs better than I take care of myself.
Right, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying? It's like, man, but now that, when the dog is saying, hi, daddy, and runs to you every time you walk in the room and makes you feel like the greatest thing that's ever, like, I did 2 things right in my life right here.
Aww.
And they, oh, man.
Aww.
Oh, man.
We'll get to some comments here. Elliot says, I still use the baby monitor, and I cannot see an end in sight for naps and at night. Also, Aaron says, it's not even about the nap. It's about the pool. If you're going to take a nap, make sure they cannot get out and the pool is secure. All right. Let's move on to some other things before we get to Chris playing some music for us this morning. Ellen Pompeo talks negotiating her Grey's Anatomy salary and meeting Harvey Weinstein. This is a unique story in the saga of this age of sexual
prowlers.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of issues that are on the table. Now, this is Meredith from Grey's Anatomy, okay?
Which one is that?
Grey's Anatomy. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy.
That's why I'm asking which one is that?
Yeah, she is the main. Her and Patrick Dempsey.
So that's not Grey? Her name's not Grey?
No.
Oh, who's Grey?
I think that was the name of the hospital.
I just lost like 300 fans right there because of that. What? Boop.
He doesn't know who Grey
Play
is.
the guitar. I don't watch TV. Relax. All right, go ahead.
So she was Meredith. Pompeo, who was named the highest paid actress in a primetime drama in 2017, opened up about the business side of her role to The Hollywood Reporter. And she said that Patrick Dempsey's departure from the show in 2015 was the game changer. She says, for me, Patrick leaving the show was a defining moment deal-wise. They could always use him as leverage against me. We don't need you. We have Patrick, which they did for years. I don't know if they did the same thing to him because we never talked about our deals. There were many times where I reached out about joining together to negotiate, but Patrick wasn't about that. So how did she negotiate her new pact, which has her earning more than $20 million a year? That's $575,000 per episode. That's a lot of damn money. But, I mean, that's 2017. Go back 20 years, and all the cast members or friends were making more money per episode than she's making right now. Granted, television was very different back then than it is now. Because back then, That's all you got.
That's all you got, man.
You huddled around
Stream.
ABC, NBC, whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
CBS, NBC, ABC.
Now
Boom.
you're competing with way too many things. So she goes, so how does she do it? She did her research and asked what she thought she deserved. Quote, what happened is I went to Shonda and I said, if you're moving on to Netflix and you want the show to go down, I'm cool with that. But if you want it to continue, I need to be incentivized. I need to feel empowered and to feel ownership of the show, she says. In the interview, she also discussed her experience with meeting Harvey Weinstein. Quote, my agent once sent me to see Harvey. I went right to his room at the Peninsula, which I would never normally do, but Harvey was a New York guy, so it made sense. Plus, it was in the middle of the day, and he had an assistant there. He did not try anything on me. Had he, I'm a little rough around the edges, she said, and I grew up around some very tough people, so I probably would have picked up a vase and cracked him over his head.
Now, that's true because I saw her on Punk'd.
Yeah.
And I thought she was quietly evil. I was like, that lady's dark. I mean, she was saying some real dark things, and her boyfriend was like laughing, like, okay, she doesn't know. Oh, yeah, she's dark. Try to look it up, people. Punk'd, what's her name?
Meredith Pompeo. No, Meredith was her name on the show.
Right.
Her name is Ellen Pompeo. But here's an interesting part of the story, okay? This is the second interesting. The first interesting part was about how she negotiated. She wasn't able to get that salary as long as Patrick Dempsey was also on the show, not because he was a man, but because they had a co-headliner for that show, to put it in certain terms.
I get it.
And so they were able just to leverage his worth against hers. Now, but she said once they removed that barrier, she was able to go to her agents, go to her people, and say, all right, how much am I worth? What should I expect in this position? Da 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 da. All right, now let's go in there and get it. Okay, and this is the second interesting part of the story. Okay, part of this discussion. She said she wasn't shy about her own intentions when she did meet Harvey Weinstein. Is it Weinstein or Weinstein?
I don't know.
Quote.
Steen.
She goes, I also feel completely comfortable saying that when I walked into the room, batting the shit out of my eyelashes. My goal in that room was to charm him, as it is in most rooms that I walk into. All right? So this is the other side of another part of this discussion. And this is what, because we're going to get to a story here in a second about Bridget Bardot, who is slamming this Me Too movement as publicity for women. So she goes, although she had no unfortunate run-ins with him, she said she wasn't so lucky when it came to the director, screenwriter, James Toback. Quote, actually did have a situation with him where I told him to go F himself. It was held in a public place, and I brought a man, my friend Tony, and he didn't like that at all. I could tell. I could tell instantly that he was like, no good. The minute my friend left, the second he left, he asked me if I would get naked in a movie. And I was like, really, dude? My friend's been missing for 30 seconds, and now you say that? I kind of laughed in his face, she went on to say. So this is one of those stories that's going to lead into the Bridget Bardot thing about how this isn't all about just the men and powerful men in Hollywood. There's another side to this. So Bridget Bardot, French film legend, attacked the Me Too movement on Wednesday, claiming the actress who complained of sexual harassment were just looking for publicity. Quote, the vast majority are being hypocritical and ridiculous. Quote, lots of actresses try to play the tease with producers to get a role. So this goes back to what we were just saying, or what Pompeo was saying. She goes, every room I walk into, I start to flirt. I start to bat my eyes. I know the game. I know what's going on here. So this is what she's saying. These actresses know exactly what they're doing. And then, so we will talk about them, and they say they were harassed, declared the 83-year-old Bardot. Quote, I was never the victim of sexual harassment. And I found it charming when men told me that I was beautiful or I had a nice little backside, said the actress, who became a sex symbol overnight for And God Created Woman in 1956. Her comments come a week after fellow French star Catherine Deneuve sparked a worldwide feminist backlash by defending men's right to hit on women. She signed an open letter by 100 prominent women that claimed the Me Too movement had become a puritanical witch hunt, which threatened sexual freedom. It also inferred that women fondled on public transport should just get over it. But Deneuve later distanced herself from some of the other signatories after one claimed that the women can that's enough of that. All right, so this is just the this day in sexual harassment in the world. Florida driver died because of a faulty airbag. And then in the sexual harassment world as well, the Me Too thing, Aziz Ansari is sparking a broader conversation about whether the definition of consent for sexual encounters should change, bringing renewed attention to affirmative consent, which is something that I had not heard of. And we all know no means no, right?
Yes.
Well, affirmative consent is yes means yes. And so let me go to the story for this one because I don't want to mess it up. I think you guys know the details of the Ansari story, which is basically took a chick back to his place. Very quickly, things escalated sexually. Next thing you know, his clothes are off, her clothes are off. She's like, I don't know about this, and so then he's performing a face party on her. And anyway, the next day, I guess he texts her. It's like, hey, I had a really good time, this and this and this. She texts him back, oh, man, I feel really uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. And he texts her back going, I'm sorry. I did not pick up on the signals. I'm so sorry that you felt uncomfortable, so on and so forth. So that's led to this. Whatever the affirmative consent, also known as yes means yes, is defined as a knowing, voluntary, and mutual decision among all participants to engage in sexual activity, according to the State University of New York, one of the growing group of schools that require students to use affirmative consent in their sexual encounters. And the reason that they do this goes further than no means no. This is saying no, the person actually has to say yes. You can't just keep going until they say no. You don't start until they say yes. Affirmative consent stipulates that partners must explicitly agree to engage in sex. Consent can be withdrawn at any time during an encounter, and silence or lack of resistance does not imply consent. So if you start to make your moves and she doesn't say, yeah, continue, or yes, or whatever, well, basically you're saying don't even start to make your moves. If you're in that moment, you're feeling it, then go, hey, I'm feeling it. I don't know, say whatever it is you got to say, but ask first before you get out and just start grabbing and whatnot. Turn that on, please. Flick that switch there. There we go. Now give me a little check test 1, 2. Oh, that looks good, Cords. That looks good.
Different lens.
Yeah, different lens? That looks really good. All right, so you have any songs about sexual harassment and such? Let's see here. What do you want to do for us today? You gonna do some? You gonna do a couple of originals, an original, and a what's your favorite cover to do?
How about the one that he didn't get to play on American Idol?
Cord says, yeah. How about the song that never made it onto American Idol?
I'll play that.
Is that one of your? That's Let's Get It On.
Let's Get It On.
All right, so let's do the song that never made it onto America's Got Talent.
It's actually pretty cool. Man, I had this cool purple shirt. I had these great pants, man. I was looking great. Y'all missed it.
How come? Oh, I'm getting a buzz from his guitar, but not
It's
sound.
probably. Oh, really?
Does it need to be turned? Does that thing need to be turned on or anything?
There's a switch on it.
Is there a switch on that?
Yeah.
You gotta turn that bad boy. Is that it? Oh, I heard a pop. I think that did it.
You got it?
We got it. We better?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, cool.
About to make history right now.
About to make history. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Chris McCarty.
I've been really trying, baby, hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, honey, come on, wow, come on, ooh, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's love, baby. Let's get it on. Sugar, let's get it on. We're all sensitive people with so much to give. Understand me, sugar. Oh, I sense we've got to behave. Let's live. And I love you. Come on, Chris, sing with me. Because there's nothing wrong with me loving you. Baby, no, no, no. And giving yourself to me can never be wrong. And the love is true. Oh, baby, yeah, yeah. Don't you know, sweet and wonderful, this life can be. I'm asking you, baby, to get it on with me. I ain't gonna worry, I ain't gonna push you, baby. So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, darling. Stop being round the bush. Hey, hey, get it on. Frightening you, babe. I want to get it on. You don't have to worry if it's wrong. Oh, spirit moves you, let me groove you. Let your love come down. If you believe in love, let's get it on. Let's get it on, baby. Because you give me good feeling. Oh, yeah. Because I feel sanctified. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Thank you.
Very nice. Oh, there you go. There. By the way, Aaron says vindication. Vindication. It made it now. Vindication. It's the Wake.Show. I am Fisher, along with Chris McCarty, singer-songwriter here in the Bay Area. Where are you gigging tonight?
Hard Rock.
You'll be at the Hard Rock tonight. What time?
6 o'clock, 6 p.m. at the Council Oak Hard Rock. Find me at Hard Rock, 6 p.m.
All right. If you're not out Hard Rock, make sure you've tuned in to Bake More Music. And what time should people tune in to Bake More Music tonight?
Stream starts
8:30. All right. We have a concert for you tonight at 8:30 at Bake More Music. All right. So is that your favorite cover? Now, that was the song that you didn't get a chance, or you did play for America's Got Talent, just didn't make it on television in Vegas.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite cover?
It's not my favorite cover. I don't.
Do you have a favorite cover, or do covers for the most part you just kind of get through?
You know what it
to
is?
make people happy?
It's the reaction from the crowd. You know what I mean? So like, if they're really into something, that's what I like the most. And so it happens.
So it doesn't matter, man. If they're into it, then you're having. Okay.
You just keep doing your thing, dude. I'm in it right now.
No, you keep doing your thing. You keep doing your thing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wake.Show. Every morning. I tried to fire it up earlier and I wasn't able to figure it out, so I don't we'll mess that around again. I tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. No, you keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. I'm gonna stop talking, and then whenever you're ready, you just segue into whatever song you want to do next, all right? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking If It's Love.
All right.
You asked me last week about, you were saying about the going through the divorce, and if there were songs that are coming together, and I want you to hear this little bit of a thing I got.
All right.
All right. Always the lyrics are subject to change. If in love, you wouldn't be so mad, make me feel so bad inside. If in love, I wouldn't try so hard, this wouldn't be my song this time. I know that you're only sleeping, you don't wanna talk tonight. And I know that you're running from the same thing I'm running from. It doesn't make it alright. 'Cause people come and people go, love will fade and love will grow, and we'll never know who's wrong or who's right. But this time, gotta make up my mind. It hurts so bad, but we just can't let it go. If it's love, you wouldn't be so mad, make me feel so bad inside. If it's love, I wouldn't try so hard, this wouldn't be my song this time. 'Cause I know that you're only cleaning, you don't wanna talk tonight. And I know that you're running from the same thing I'm running from, 'cause this could take all night. But people come and people go, love will fade and love will grow, we'll never know who's wrong or who is right. But this time, gotta make up my mind. Hurts so bad, maybe we should just let this go. If it's love, you wouldn't be so mad, make me feel so bad inside. If it's love, I wouldn't try so hard, this wouldn't be my song this time. I know if it's love, we could find another way. I know if it's love, then the sun would shine another day. I know if it's love, 'cause this time and this feeling inside, it hurts so bad. I hate to say, but you're not the one for me. If it's love, you wouldn't be so mad, make me feel so bad inside. If it's love, I wouldn't try so hard, this wouldn't be my song this time. If it's love, you wouldn't be so mad and make me feel so bad inside. If it's love, I wouldn't try so hard, this wouldn't be my song this time. If it's love, 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 if it's love.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Congratulations. Wait.
Congratulations on your divorce.
No,
Thank you for applauding my misery.
no, not congratulations on that. All right.
You're right. Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Dude, thank you for coming in again today, man. That was good. Yeah. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Do you feel better about today's appearance?
Absolutely. Because he was light happy. And
Yeah.
yeah.
We didn't sit there and talk about death the entire time.
Right, I know. Broken hearts.
All right, Chris McCarty will be at the Hard Rock tonight. Where are you going to be tomorrow night? Oh, it's going to be
Surfside Tap House in Clearwater Beach.
all right.
I'll be there at 9 o'clock.
All right.
Saturday private party. Sunday Kelly's in Dunedin. And yeah, that's where it's going to be.
And then when you coming back on the show?
whenever you have me.
All right.
Hi, like I did that, yeah. You put it back on them. That's how you do that, right?
Well, thank you so much for being part of the Wake.Show. Let's get here we go. Thank you so much for being a part of the Wake.Show today, sharing and liking, all that good stuff. And let's see, tomorrow morning. Oh, Napoleon's finally going to join us tomorrow. You didn't know me back then, right? You didn't know, you only knew me with Seth, with Boy. But before then, it was Fisher and Napoleon. And he stood me up on Monday coming on the show. But he's going to come on tomorrow morning, 8:30. So have a great week, or have a great Thursday. It's going to be freezing here in the Bay Area. It'll be cold again in the morning, but they'll start to warm up as we get into the weekend. Tomorrow, the highs will be in the mid-60s, and then come Saturday and Sunday, highs will be back in the mid-70s.